All right, everyone, get ready. Because today, we're taking a deep dive into the world of AI.
Sounds exciting.
It is, but with a twist. We're not talking about some sci-fi future.
Right.
We're talking about the AI you're already using, probably even just now, without even thinking about it.
You're right. It's become so integrated into our lives, it's almost invisible.
Exactly. Our starting point for this deep dive is this article called 8 Helpful Everyday Examples of Artificial Intelligence.
Good
It's
choice.
from January 2023, so not super recent, but the fundamental ideas are still relevant.
Absolutely. The core concepts of AI haven't changed that much.
And what's interesting is they actually use the Oxford Dictionary of Phrase and Fable to define AI. Kind of a weird source, right?
Yeah, you don't see that every day.
So let's start with the basics. What is artificial intelligence? I mean, we hear the term everywhere, but what does it actually mean?
Well, think of it this way. AI is all about creating computer systems that can basically do things that usually need a human brain. Things like analyzing information, recognizing patterns, making decisions, even understanding language.
So like giving computers the ability to think like us.
In a way, yeah. But instead of using a brain, AI uses algorithms. They're basically sets of instructions that tell the computer how to process information and learn from data.
It's like a super brain that never forgets anything.
Exactly. And it can often spot connections that we humans might miss. The article mentions three main types of AI: machine learning, deep learning, and natural language processing.
Right, those sound familiar. Can you break those down for us?
Okay, imagine teaching a dog a trick. With machine learning, you give the AI tons of data, and it learns patterns from that data. Then it can do specific tasks based on what it's learned.
Makes sense.
Deep learning is like that dog figuring out new tricks all on its own without needing specific commands.
Wow, that's pretty impressive.
And then there's natural language processing, which lets computers understand and interact with human language, even with all our slang and typos.
That's amazing. Like, they're actually learning to speak our language?
Pretty much. So are you ready to get into those 8 examples the article highlights?
Let's do it. What's first?
First up, maps and navigation. Remember that time we drove to that new ramen place downtown and the app rerouted us around a huge traffic jam?
Yeah, totally saved our lunch plans.
That's AI in action, but it's more sophisticated than just finding the fastest route AI is being used to, like optimize traffic flow for entire cities, analyzing patterns and suggesting alternative routes, even slower ones sometimes.
Really? Why would it suggest a slower route?
To minimize overall congestion, it's like a citywide traffic conductor, constantly making adjustments to keep things moving smoothly, not just getting one car to its destination faster.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So next up is facial recognition. Gotta admit, I love trying all those silly filters on my phone.
Yeah.
That's face detection AI, right?
Yep. But facial recognition goes beyond filters. Think security systems or even some stores that use it for personalized shopping experiences.
Wait, they recognize me when I walk in.
Potentially. It's still early days, but it raises some privacy questions for sure. But it shows how facial recognition is becoming more common in everyday life.
True. Okay, what about text editors and autocorrect?
Yeah.
I mean, who hasn't been saved from a super embarrassing typo by autocorrect?
Right. It's our silent grammar guardian.
For real?
These algorithms are trained on mountains of text data so they can spot errors and suggest corrections with amazing accuracy.
Makes sense. So are you saying they basically learn grammar like we did in school?
Kind of. But what's even cooler is researchers are now using AI to analyze ancient texts. It can actually decipher damaged scrolls or translate lost languages because it processes language so quickly.
Wow, that's mind-blowing.
Yeah.
Like digital archaeology?
Exactly. It's AI being used in a totally unexpected way.
Uh,
And then there's search and recommendations. Ever get creeped out when you're thinking about something and an ad for it pops up on your phone?
all the time. It's like my phone is reading my mind.
It's those algorithms again. Every click, every search, every scroll, it all creates a digital trail. AI uses that to predict what you like and recommend things you might be interested in.
I guess that makes sense, but it is a little creepy.
It can be, but on the flip side, some platforms are using AI to filter out fake news. It's like having a built-in fact checker.
Okay, that's actually pretty useful. So it's not just about showing us ads, it's about making the information we see more reliable.
Exactly. It's a complicated issue, but AI is playing a bigger and bigger role in how we get information online. And what about chatbots? Remember when you used to be stuck on hold with customer service forever?
Ugh, the worst. Now you could just chat with a bot and get your problem solved way faster.
It's true. It's AI streamlining things and making customer service less of a headache. Chatbots use natural language processing to understand us and respond, and they're always learning and getting better based on how we interact with them.
It's crazy how much they've improved, even in the last couple of years.
It's true. And what's really interesting is some companies are even using chatbots for mental health support. They're available 24/7 so they can offer help right when someone needs it.
Wow, I never thought of that. So it's not just about efficiency, it's about making important services more accessible.
That's a great point. And of course, we can't forget about digital assistants. Hey Siri, play my favorite playlist.
Hey Google, what's the weather today?
There are AI butlers, basically.
Okay.
They can learn our routines, anticipate our needs, even control our smart home devices. They're getting smarter all the time. But what's really impressive is how AI is being used to create digital assistants for people with disabilities. Like, there are apps that help people with visual impairments navigate, read text aloud, even identify objects.
That's incredible. It's like technology breaking down barriers.
It is. It's a really powerful example of how AI can be used to empower people and make the world a little bit more inclusive.
Okay, moving on to social media. It's always a little freaky when Instagram suggests people I might know, and they're right.
Social media platforms are using AI for way more than just friend suggestions. It's used for moderating content, targeting ads, even spotting harmful content.
knew it.
But what's even weirder is AI is now being used to create hyper-realistic virtual influencers. These AI-generated personalities have millions of followers, endorse products, and interact with fans, just like real people.
Wait, so they're not even real. That's kind of mind-blowing.
It really blurs the lines between real and virtual, which raises some interesting questions. Okay, last but not least, e-payments. Remember when we used to have to go to the bank for everything?
And stand in line forever.
AI has totally changed how we manage our money. It powers the security that protects our transactions, the fraud detection that catches suspicious activity, and the personalized recommendations that help us make smarter decisions.
So AI is basically my personal financial advisor now.
Not quite,
I'll
but it's
tell you.
getting there. AI can analyze tons of data and spot trends that humans might miss, which can lead to better investment strategies. But even more importantly, AI is being used to make financial services more accessible. There are AI-powered micro-lending platforms that can assess creditworthiness using alternative data, so people without a traditional credit history can still get loans.
That's amazing. It's like AI is making the financial system fairer.
Exactly. It's about using technology to create a more equitable system for everyone. So, what do you think? Pretty incredible how much AI is already a part of our lives, right?
It's honestly kind of overwhelming. I had no idea how much AI was going on behind the scenes, and it sounds like this is just the beginning.
It really is just the tip of the iceberg. AI is evolving at an incredible pace. Its impact on our lives will only grow in the years to come.
That's both exciting and a little scary, to be honest.
I get it. It's natural to feel that way. AI has the potential to solve some of our biggest problems,
Right.
but it also raises some big questions about how we want to use it. What kind of future do we want to create with this technology?
That's a great point. It's not just about the technology itself, it's about the choices we make about how we use it.
Yeah.
What values do we want to prioritize? We've only just scratched the surface of this conversation.
It really is amazing how quickly things change in the tech world.
Yeah, it makes you wonder what's next for AI. Like, how is it going to change our everyday lives even more?
Well, think about how mind-blowing the internet was when it first came out. Now we can't imagine life without it. AI has that same potential to totally transform how we live, work, and interact with everything.
I'm holding out for my AI-powered flying car.
Maybe someday.
Mhm.
But even without flying cars, there are some super interesting areas where AI is about to make a huge impact, like in the very near future.
Okay, you've got me hooked. What are you most excited about?
Healthcare is a big one. AI is already being used to analyze medical images, help with diagnoses, and even personalized treatment plans.
So, like, AI could be a second opinion for doctors, helping them make better decisions.
Exactly. And it could even shift healthcare towards a more preventative approach. Imagine AI looking at your health data and warning you about potential risks before they even become problems.
Wow, that would be incredible. Early detection is key for so many health issues. What about other fields? Where else is AI making a difference?
Finance is another big one. It's already being used to detect fraud, manage investments, even give personalized financial advice.
So maybe one day we'll all have AI financial advisors helping us make smarter money choices.
It's definitely possible. AI can analyze massive amounts of data and spot trends that humans might miss. That could lead to much better investment strategies. But what's even cooler is that AI is making financial services available to more people. Like there are these micro lending platforms that use AI to decide who gets a loan, even if they don't have a traditional credit history.
That's amazing. It's like AI is making things fairer for everyone.
Exactly. It's about using technology to create a more just and equal financial system. It's pretty clear that AI is going to affect pretty much every part of our lives, right?
It's a little mind-blowing, honestly. But as we keep developing these technologies, we need to remember that AI is a tool. And like any tool, it can be used for good or bad,
Mm-hmm.
right? We've all seen those sci-fi movies where the robots take over. But in reality, the risks of AI are way more complicated than that.
Exactly. It's not about AI becoming self-aware and turning against us. It's about humans using AI in the wrong way, whether they mean to or not.
So the problem isn't the technology itself, it's how we choose to use it.
Exactly. We have to be careful about potential biases that can sneak into AI systems, and we have to make sure that these technologies are created and used in a way that aligns with our values and goals.
So we have a responsibility to not just understand AI, but to be actively involved in shaping how it's developed and used.
I completely agree. We can't just sit back and watch how AI unfolds. We need to be part of shaping this technology and making sure it's used to benefit everyone.
Okay, so how do we do that? What steps can we take to make sure AI is used responsibly?
Well, one important thing is to push for transparency and accountability in AI development. People need to know how these systems work, what data they're using, and who's responsible for what they do.
Right, we can't just blindly trust these black boxes. We need to be able to see what's going on inside.
Exactly. Another crucial thing is tackling the issue of bias in AI. If we're not careful, AI systems can actually make existing societal biases worse. We need to make sure that these systems are fair and unbiased for everyone.
That's such an important point. We need to make sure AI is used to create a more just and equal world, not to make existing inequalities worse.
Absolutely. And finally, we need to have open and honest conversations about the ethics of AI. This isn't just a technical issue, it's a societal issue. We need to include diverse voices in these conversations and really think about the broader impact of these technologies.
It sounds like there's a lot of work to do to make sure AI is used for good, but it also sounds like a really exciting time with so much potential for positive change.
I think so too. It's a time of huge opportunity and huge responsibility. The choices we make today will shape the future of AI and its impact on the world.
So what can our listeners do to get involved in this conversation?
First, stay informed. Read about AI, learn how it works, and pay attention to how it's being used. The more you understand about AI, the better equipped you'll be to deal with all its complexities.
Knowledge is power, right?
Mhm.
The more we understand about AI, the better we'll be able to shape how it's developed and used.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to ask questions, challenge assumptions, and have conversations about AI ethics. Your voice matters.
Be an active part of shaping the future of AI.
Yeah.
I
Oh.
love it. Okay, so we've talked about the potential of AI, the challenges, and the ethical considerations. But let's bring it back down to earth. What are some practical things our listeners can do to start using AI right now?
That's a great question. And honestly, it's easier than you might think. There are so many AI-powered tools and apps out there that can help us be more productive, creative, and efficient.
Okay, spill the beans. Give us some examples. What AI tools can our listeners start using today?
Well, think about those digital assistants we were talking about earlier. Siri, Alexa, Google Assistant. They're all AI-powered tools that can help with things like managing your schedule, getting information, and controlling your smart home devices.
They're like our personal AI helpers,
Eh.
always there to lend a hand.
Exactly. And they're getting smarter every day. You can use them to set reminders, schedule appointments, play music, even order groceries. But beyond those everyday tasks, AI is also being used to create some really cool and useful tools. For example, there are language learning apps powered by AI that can personalize your learning based on your strengths and weaknesses.
So instead of just following a one-size-fits-all curriculum, these apps can adapt to your individual learning style.
Exactly. They can figure out where you need extra practice and give you specific exercises to help you improve. And they can even give you feedback on your pronunciation and grammar.
It's amazing. It's like having your own personal language tutor.
Exactly. It's another great example of how AI is making learning more accessible and customized for everyone. So what about those apps that give you personalized recommendations? Music streaming services like Spotify and Apple Music use AI to suggest new artists and songs you might enjoy based on what you've listened to before.
I've definitely discovered some new favorite bands thanks to those recommendations. It's like
Yeah.
having a DJ who knows my taste better than I do.
Exactly. And streaming services like Netflix and Hulu use AI to recommend movies and shows you might enjoy. They're constantly learning from what you watch and refining their suggestions. But it goes beyond entertainment. AI is also being used to personalize news feeds and show you content that's relevant to your interests.
So instead of being overwhelmed by a ton of information, we can get a more curated and personalized news experience.
Exactly. It's about using AI to filter out all the noise and help us focus on the information that's most important to us. What about productivity tools? Can AI help us get more done?
I'm all ears. Tell me more.
Absolutely. There are AI-powered writing assistants that can help you write more clearly and effectively. Grammarly is one that a lot of people use, but there are tons of others. They can help with everything from grammar and spelling to sentence structure, even the tone of your writing.
It's like having a virtual editor looking over your shoulder.
Exactly. And then there are AI-powered task management apps that can help you prioritize your to-do list and stay organized. They can learn your work habits, figure out your most important tasks, and even suggest the best times to schedule meetings.
Wow, so many possibilities. It sounds like AI can really help us streamline our lives and free up more time for the things we enjoy.
That's exactly it. AI isn't about replacing us, it's about making us better at what we do.
I'm feeling inspired to do an AI audit of my life and see where I can start using these tools.
That's a great idea. And the best way to learn about AI is to try it out. Experiment with different apps and see what works best for you.
I'm feeling motivated to embrace my inner techie. This deep dive into the world of AI has been amazing. It's incredible to see how much this technology is already changing our lives, and it's even more exciting to think about what's coming next.
It really is a game changer. AI has the potential to change pretty much every aspect of our lives, from the way we work to the way we experience the world.
But as we talked about earlier, it's important to approach AI with both excitement and caution. We need to be aware of the potential downsides and make sure we're developing and using these technologies responsibly.
Couldn't agree more. The future of AI is in our hands. It's up to us to make sure it benefits humanity and creates a better world for everyone.
That's a great message to keep in mind. Okay, we've covered a lot of ground today, so let's take a quick break and we'll come back to wrap up our deep dive into the world of AI. And we're back, diving deeper into the world of AI.
Ready for the final lap?
Definitely. This deep dive has seriously shown me how much AI is running things behind the scenes, like it's calling all the shots.
It's true. It's like we've peeked behind the curtain and seen this whole hidden world of algorithms and data crunching.
Exactly. And now that I know it's there, I can't unsee it.
That's kind of the point, right? To become more aware of how AI shapes our experiences, even how it influences the decisions we make.
Absolutely. It's like leveling up, becoming a more informed, more aware digital citizen.
Exactly. And that brings me to the thought I want to leave our listeners with. It's not enough to just understand AI. We need to actively engage with it, help shape how it develops.
So instead of just being along for the ride, we should be asking questions, pushing back when we need to.
Exactly. Think about it. Every time you use social media, every time you search for something online, even when you're just using a Maps app, you're interacting with AI. And all those interactions, they create this feedback loop that shapes how these technologies change and grow.
Wait, so my choices actually matter?
Absolutely. The data you generate, the things you like, the feedback you give, it all goes into how AI develops. By making choices and speaking up, we can all play a part in how this technology is used and what kind of impact it has.
Wow, that's pretty powerful. It's like we have a responsibility to not just understand AI, but to actually help shape its future.
Exactly. So as you go about your day, start paying attention to how you're interacting with AI. Ask yourself a few key questions.
Okay, I'm ready. Hit me with those questions.
First one, is this AI tool actually making my life easier, or is it just making things more complicated? There are so many apps and gadgets that promise to simplify our lives, but sometimes they just add more clutter and stress.
It's like that saying, just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Exactly. It's about being choosy and picking the tools that truly improve your life, not just the ones that are trendy or flashy. Second question, am I okay with the data this AI is using and how it's collecting that data?
Data privacy is a big deal these days. We need to be careful about how our information is used.
Absolutely. Take the time to read those privacy policies, understand how companies are using your data, and remember, you always have the choice to opt out or find services that prioritize privacy.
Good point. What's the next question?
The third question is, are there any biases baked into this AI system that could be leading to unfair or discriminatory results?
That's a good one. We always hear about how AI is objective and impartial, but it's designed by humans, right? So it can still reflect our biases.
Exactly. So be a critical thinker, look for patterns, question assumptions, and don't hesitate to speak up if you see something that seems unfair or biased.
It's like holding AI to the same standards we expect from any human making decisions.
Exactly. And here's the last question to consider. How might this AI be impacting society as a whole, both the good and the bad? AI has the potential to do amazing things, but it could also disrupt industries, make inequality worse, even threaten our privacy and freedom.
That's a really big question to think about.
It is, but it's important to think about the bigger picture and have these tough conversations about how we want to shape how AI is developed and used.
Wow, these questions are like a cheat sheet for navigating the world of AI. I'm definitely going to keep them in mind.
I'm glad to hear that. Remember, the future of AI isn't set in stone. It's up to all of us to shape it in a way that benefits everyone and creates a fairer, more just, and better world.
That's a fantastic message to end on. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive into AI. It's been an amazing journey.
It's been my pleasure.
And to our listeners, we hope you've enjoyed this exploration of AI as much as we have. Keep learning, keep asking those tough questions, and stay engaged in this crucial conversation. The future of AI is in our hands. Let's shape it wisely. Until next time.